Today I wanted to talk you through some of my all-time favorite foundations for all different skin types, and I'm gonna go from everything to dry and more mature skin to oily and acne-prone skin, which is what I've had for most of my life. So if you want to see some of my favorite foundations and the ones that I would recommend to everyone, please keep watching. So first we have to start with my all-time holy grail foundation that I think I'll just always have in my collection, and that is the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I think any skin type on a budget could go for this foundation and be really satisfied. It's not super drying, it's not super hydrating, it's kind of somewhere in the middle, and it does have SPF 17 in it, which I absolutely love about it, and it's also just super blendable. It just kind of, and it's actually called True Match Super Blendable Makeup, and I find that that really is true. With a damp beauty blender, this kind of just blends in effortlessly to the skin, and they also have a huge range of shades for neutral, warm, and cool undertones. So I have the shade N1, and that's typically my color all the time, and I just absolutely love this. So I think this would probably be best for people that tend towards the more oily spectrum, not so much the dry, but I think you could still get away with it if you are dry. And this is just my number one recommendation from the drugstore or for anyone on a budget looking for a good medium to full coverage foundation. This really can be built up in layers to give you a super full coverage, but right off the bat, one layer is probably going to give you a medium to full coverage. So I absolutely love this. I can't recommend it enough, and this is my first pick. Next, I just want to quickly talk about something that I'm not a super expert in, which is dry skin. So I've had oily and oily combination skin for my whole life, and I'm also very much acne prone, so I don't really try a lot of foundations that are good for dry skin, but one that I absolutely would recommend to anyone with super dry skin would be the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. And I think this is good if you have dry skin, but you're still looking for that full coverage foundation look, because this is definitely full coverage. One pump of this will give you a great full coverage over your entire face. And I actually went through a full tube of this and repurchased it. At the time, I thought, like, everyone's using this, it's kind of a cult favorite, I need to love it, I'm gonna love it, I just have to keep trying it. So I actually used a full tube and bought a second one. I'm not really sure why. I hardly ever use it now. It's just too moisturizing for my skin. I'm a little too oily. Like maybe in, the depths of winter when it's super dry out, I could wear this and kind of be happy with it, but I kind of need to pair it with a super mattifying powder, and then it kind of just defeats the purpose. But this is nice because it has SPF 50 and an anti-aging serum in it, so it's really great if you have dry skin or super mature skin. I think this would be lovely on you. And you can also just use a little bit, because it is full coverage, you can just use a little bit to get a more sheer coverage if you want. And for mature and dry skin, the honorable mention goes to a foundation that's very new to me, which is the one that I'm wearing today, which is the Osmosis Color Performance Wear Satin Foundation. And this also, I think, is very hydrating and would work very well on mature skin tones. Because this is mineral based and fairly hydrating, I think it would be great on any mature skin or anyone with slightly drier skin. And this is also a medium and can be built into a full coverage foundation. For normal skin, I want to talk about two Giorgio Armani foundations, and the one I have here is the Power Fabric, and I'm actually out of the Luminous Silk right now. When I ran out of Luminous Silk, I tried out the Power Fabric, but both of them I absolutely love. I think the L'Oreal True Match is actually a great dupe for the Luminous Silk formula, so if you want to save your money, go for the L'Oreal. But I think the Armani foundations are just beautiful in terms of their shades and their coverage, and they're just like the L'Oreal, super blendable, and just are really beautiful finish to the skin. Giorgio Armani just really gets it right with their base products. And I like the Power Fabric for oilier skin because it's a long wear, high cover foundation. So anything long wear is going to be a little more drying and kind of set down a little more matte on the skin, typically anyway. So I find that this one is a little more complementary to my oily skin if I want to be wearing it all day for an event or for some sort of special occasion. And this also has SPF 25 in it, which means I like it a little bit more than the Luminous Silk. But I do actually think that the Luminous Silk has a little bit more of a more beautiful finish. So I'm kind of caught in between. So if you have normal skin, I would definitely go with Luminous Silk. That's just the holy grail, everyone's favorite foundation. You have to try it once in your life for sure, no matter what skin type you have, but particularly if you have normal skin. And if you have slightly oilier skin, then Power Fabric for sure. Even if you have super oily skin, this is kind of my go-to special occasion foundation because I know it's not going to oxidize or flash back, and it just looks really lovely on the skin. Now for the trickiest of skin types, which is combination, anyone that has oily spots on their face and then also dry patches. I used to have a lot of dry skin patches and occasionally I do suffer with those a lot, especially around the mouth area and the chin, which is where kind of hormonal acne and dryness really tends to play up for me personally. But I found the ultimate combination skin foundation, and that is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. No idea how to actually say that, but it's this one. And I'm a little disappointed with their shades because they have a huge shade range, but the color that I am the closest to is this one, but this is a little bit too pinky in the undertone for me. I need a little bit more of a warmer undertone, but this is the closest shade I could get, which is 110C, Ivory, I believe. But anyway, the shade match is a little off, but the formula is absolutely beautiful. You can build it to a full coverage and it just does not cling to dry patches at all. I find that it kind of just covers up the dry patches, and I don't know what it does to them, but they just seem to disappear when I use this foundation. So if I'm ever having like a patchy skin day, this is definitely the foundation that I would reach for because it's absolutely perfect for combination skin. And now for oily skin. You already saw that some of my favorites were the Power Fabric and the True Match, but for a little bit lighter coverage, a new discovery of mine is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. And I think this is just a wonderful formula if you don't have, problem skin or acne or dark spots to cover and you just want kind of a light coverage that's going to kind of perfect the skin and keep oil at bay. I think this is the one for you. So if you have oily skin and you don't want super full coverage, definitely check this out, but it can also be built up into full coverage. So don't be scared like this is a super sheer coverage. It's not. It's a light to medium coverage that I really think you can actually build up to a full coverage if you did probably 2, maybe 3 layers of it. I've definitely built this up and gotten a full coverage out of it when I needed to, but this is just a lovely formula for oily skin girls that aren't acne prone and just want to kind of keep the oil at bay and not kind of have the super thick cake face look. So this is my other favorite for oily skin. And my last foundation is actually my current favorite right now, and I use it with oily skin, and I think it would be good for mature skin and dry skin and oily, and that is the 100% Pure Superfruits Foundation. And this is my recommendation for sensitive skin. So if you have skin that's really prone to redness, really prone to breakouts, and that is just generally sensitive, maybe rosacea prone, anything like that, I would highly recommend this 100% Pure foundation because it is just like the brand says, 100% pure. There's no, phosphates or polymers or anything bad for your skin in here. It's just really healthy, all kind of natural and fruit, based ingredients. There is just titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in there for the sunscreen that you get in this, but otherwise it's 100% natural and 100% vegan. And I find when I wear this all day and I take my makeup off at night, my skin isn't red and irritated from having, thick foundation sitting on my skin all day. It's just kind of even toned and not bothered at all. So I think this is the perfect solution for sensitive skin. And this is also very high coverage. So it's, I think like all high coverage foundations, it really starts off as a medium to full coverage and you can build it up with your beauty blender to get a full coverage out of it. I certainly get a full coverage out of it for everyday wear, and I really like that. Most, sensitive skin foundations are thinner, more serum based, and just don't kind of deliver that full coverage that I tend to want. So if you have sensitive skin and you have something to cover, I would highly recommend this because it's healthy for your skin and doesn't irritate at all. So that's it. Those are all my favorite foundations for various different skin types. Hopefully there's one in this video that looks interesting to you for your skin type. Currently my favorite is definitely this 100% Pure. So I have to recommend one to everyone. It would be this one. But if you're on a little bit of a budget, it would be the L'Oreal True Match. Basically all of these are foundations that I love and would recommend to a friend. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my breakdown of all the foundations that are best for each different skin type, and thank you so much for watching.